Hello, Azul here again as I get ready for the Continental Divide Trail. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the big three that I'll be bringing with me. And the big three are your backpack, your shelter system, and your sleep system. And some people call it your big four because your sleep system can be broken down into your sleeping bag and your sleeping pad. But outside of that, the backpack, the tent, and the sleeping bag and pad are basically the big 3/4 that you people do tend to put a lot of consideration and time into picking out, because it's basically your home on trail and you want it to be comfortable, you want it to work well for you, and yeah, depending upon the trails you're doing, it's home for 4 to 6 or more months. So yes, I'll start from the outside and kind of go in. I'll start with my backpack. So after I finished the Pacific Crest Trail, I was just so excited about long trails. I had taken the Granite Gear Blaze 60 liter with me on that, and it worked great. I used it the whole time. It's nice because you can fit your bear canister inside and not have it strapped weirdly to the top of your pack or anything. The only thing with it is by the end, it was just too much pack for me. I had learned to pack better, gotten rid of some of my gear, and yeah, the pack was too much. And then also, yeah, it had the stretch material front pouch that when my pack was full, it was tied up against the pack and didn't really have stretchability to put stuff in that pouch. So I just tore the crap out of it trying to stuff things in there. So those were the two things that were the main reasons why I decided to move on from that pack. I still have it. I used it on the Tahoe Rim Trail in 2023 because I wanted to carry a bear canister that whole trail. So I just used that pack for 10 days and it was nice. But since I want to do more trails and more long trails, I decided to get myself a fancy custom pack by Dandy. This is my Dandy pack. And it's a great pack. It's 40 liters. It is made from the EPL 200 Ultra Fabric, which is a lightweight, durable material that's becoming more popular in packs, and it's great. I'll talk a little bit about the customs I had done on it. So 40 liters, I have, since I was so unhappy with the stretch material as the main pocket on the front, I decided to go with the poly mesh. This went 800 miles on the AZT and it looks like new still, which I love. And then I had on the inside of this, it might be a little tricky to see, but there is a stretch pocket. It's like a half stretch pocket on the top kind of this pocket. I love this. I put all of my water filters, my water tabs, and the little pouches, the knock and bags I use for my water filtration system, which I'll go over in more detail, but all that stays in here, so it's easily accessible. I can grab it really easy and it doesn't get mixed in with everything else I have in this bigger pocket on the outside. So that's really nice. And then I have ripstop material side pockets. I have one short that holds my water bottles, and then I have a taller pocket on one side that holds my Nemo switch back. I don't like, you'll see a lot of people strapping their Nemos on kind of T-wise. I don't like carrying it like that. I feel like it gets caught. So I like to keep it parallel here in a taller pocket that helps keeps it more secure. And then it has this little band too to help secure it, which is really nice. So I do like that a lot. Then one thing I do love, I made this pack with vest straps. So there's no hip belt on this, which I like. I found on the PCT, I have some issues with my SI joint, and it was good. The hip belt was pressing on it and it was causing some issues. So no hip belt anymore. And I went with vest straps, which I love. I have one pocket here that I keep my smaller water bottle in, that I have my cold soaked coffee in, and then I put my electrolytes and stuff in this, so it's my mixed water bottle. And then I keep my kind of just plain waters in the smaller pockets over here. And then I have a double pocket over here, which is nice. I keep snacks in here, and then I tend to just put trash in the lower one to keep it separate, so I can put it in my bigger trash bag when I'm eating and going. So that's kind of handy. I like that a lot. I'm not sure if I'll do vest straps again. I might just go with without a hip belt and S straps in the future. And the reason is I do love the vest straps, but it tends to squish my breasts a little bit. I don't have the smallest boobs, so the way that fits is a little funky. I don't love it, but outside of that, I love it and it works great. So this is my dandy pack. And oh, the other, I always forget this one. It has one of those bottom pouches down here, which I love. On the AZT, I kept my poop kit down here, which is great because it was separated from everything else in my pack. I do have that double bagged anyway, so it stays separate, but having it out here down away from everything is great. And then I know Arizona Trail, what, you were carrying spikes? Yeah, I carried spikes. 2022 was a big snow year there. And I did put them on a couple of occasions. I didn't necessarily need them, but had them, and so I kept my poop kit and my spikes down here, and that worked really great. And then, oh yeah, on one of the sides I have this tiny little side stretch pocket right here, and that's where I keep my headlamp and a couple other little, like I'll keep the bug spray wipes in here, just a couple random things in here. My knife I keep in here sometimes, and just things that I want fairly easily accessible and separate from the madness of the inner pouch. Oh, and one more thing, this isn't really part of the backpack, but I use a trash compactor bag. This is the compactor bag, so they're really thick, as my tag liner, and then to help keep my sleeping bag and the things I want to keep dry in my pack. So that is my pack. I love my dandy pack. Thank you, Dandy, for making this pack for me. All right. So moving on to my shelter system, I'm going to start with my little Tyvek brown cloth. I think it's roughly 3 by 7. I want to say 4 by 7, something like that. I can't remember the dimensions on it, but I use this as protection for the bottom of my tent. I have a Dyneema tent with a Dyneema bottom, and I just want extra protection for it. But the main reason I carry this is for cowboy camping, when I don't want to put my tent up and I want to sleep out under the stars. Lay this down, put my pad on top of it, my sleeping pad on top of it, and it's a great way to protect everything and sleep out underneath the stars. And it weighs almost nothing and folds down to almost nothing, and a great little piece of equipment. For my sleeping pad, I use a Nemo switchback, and that's it. A lot of people use this paired with a Thermarest or a Tensor, a Thermarest or a Nemo, like the Thermarest, X-Lite they're called, I think, and the Nemo Tensor, and the inflatable air mattresses. I do have a Thermarest X-Lite. I don't really use it. I might send it to myself in Colorado if the weather seems really cold there, but I most likely will just use this unless it's really cold. I have found, for me personally, I feel like I'm going to roll off the air mattresses. I don't sleep well on them. I worry about them popping. It's just a bigger headache than I like to deal with, and I am quite comfortable on just the closed cell foam mattresses, like the Nemo switchback. So this is all I tend to use, and I love it. I do want to show you this. This is, you might be able to tell, is a brand spanking new one. I just got this one. Yay. But I do have my old one. This one has seen a lot of miles, and you can tell it is compressed quite a bit. So this was on the PCT with me, the AZT, the TRT, and a bunch of little trips in between all of those. So you can tell you do want to replace them occasionally because they will compact. And I assume they don't provide as much warmth once they're compact, but I still keep it. I love it. and it will be my backup, but got myself a shiny new one for the Continental Divide Trail. Oh, and I'm an idiot. I realized I moved on to my sleeping system without finishing my shelter system. So I guess I went into cowboy camping because I was thinking I had my head in cowboy camping, and so I went there. But I'll finish the tent, so sorry about that. So for my shelter system, I got the Tyvek, and then my tent, I have the tarp tent, Rainbow Lee tarp tent. And this is a Rainbow Lee, so it does have a pole. It has one pole, and it's a Dyneema tent. That the Rainbow comes in a couple of different variety of materials. The Rainbow Lee is the Dyneema version. That's the lighter version, more expensive version, but it's a great tent. Has lots of headroom, small footprint. I really love it. I keep the pole separate from the tent. I squish this into my backpack, and then I keep this on the side pocket of my backpack with my switchback, my sleeping pad. So that is it for my tent. I will have some photos of it set up for you in this video, and then I'm hoping one of these days soon to go out and do a night out, just test all my gear and make sure nothing and anything is broken. So I'll do a video and show you the inside and how I set up the tent and everything if I am able to do that before I head out. So Rainbow Lee by Tarp Tent. I love this tent. It's a little pricey, but like I said, you know, this is home for 6 months or so, and I like to be comfortable. Oh, one other thing I want to mention with this is it's a single wall tent, so condensation can be an issue with it. I did get the liner that goes with it. You buy it separately, unfortunately, which is kind of silly, but it's supposed to help with condensation, and I have not had much condensation issue in this tent, and I almost feel like regardless of the liner, I just haven't had much condensation issues. And I have found that on all of my trails, people were getting condensation. I don't know if I'm just better at picking drier spots, knock on wood, I don't know, but I haven't had a huge issue with condensation. And if I set this up, I'll show you. It has nice mesh along the bottom. The breathability of this tent is great, and so that probably helps with the condensation as well. All right, so that's the shelter system, and then back to sleeping system, my Nemo switchback. And then I am gonna start off with my 0 degree quilt. It might be too much, but I'm gonna bring it for the early season and then through Colorado. This is a Lightened Equipment Enigma. The Enigma has the closed toe box that comes up a little bit of the ways. And you know, when I got a 0 degree sleeping quilt, I was like, I want it to be warm. I don't want to deal with drafts. So I wanted the closed toe box on a 0 degree bag. It seemed to make sense to me. So that's why I went with the Enigma for my 0 degree bag. And so I'll start off with this. And then I might, if I'm starting to get too hot once summer really kicks in, I'll switch over. This is my 30 degree Enlightened Equipment. This is the Revelation. So it has a toe box that completely unzips. And then you can zip it, the bottom part of the sleeping bag together to create a toe box, and then pull the drawstrings together to tighten it up. So it works really well that way. It might have a little draft, but I've never been bothered by it, especially in the warmer weather, where I'm using my 30 degree quilt anyways. And then these are nice because since they unzip, they just become like basically a blanket and a quilt, and you can, you know, hang out in it, and it's super cozy. I love this sleeping bag too. So I'll probably switch out to this once it gets warmer, but starting off with my 0 degree, especially since it seems like Colorado might be a little cooler this year. It's been getting dumped on the last couple of days or week or so. So then I also have my Sea to Summit Reactor sleeping bag liner. These are great. They add some warmth, which I probably won't necessarily need with my 0 degree bag, but with my 30 degree bag, it's nice. But the other thing about this is that it helps keep your sleeping bags clean. It keeps your body oils off of the quilts. So you don't need to wash the quilts as much, and this is way easier to wash than having to deal with washing your quilts. Those quilts are both down. I don't know if I mentioned that, but they're down and they can be a little bit of a pain to wash. So having this protect it and then throw this in the washer is easy and much easier than washing the quilts. So sleeping bag liner I love. And then this is a luxury item, but I'm going to include it in my sleep system. It's my Torrid booties. These ones are synthetic. I had some goosefoot down ones that I loved, but I lost one of them in Snoqualmie washing machine. It just vanished. I don't know what happened. But anyways, so now I have the Torrid ones, and they work well too. I like having my feet nice and warm and happy while I sleep. And then, oh, pillow. So I have this. This is a Hyperlight stuff sack, but it's designed to be stuffed and turned into a pillow. So it's Dyneema waterproof on the outside, which is great. So I can put all the clothes in here that I want to keep dry and packed in my waterproof compactor bag in my pack. But anyways, so you turn it inside out and it has this fleece side, which makes for a nice pillow. The only issues I have a couple issues with this. I like it for the most part, but for me, it's still a very, even when stuffed, it's a very flat pillow. So it's, I need a little more loft. So I wouldn't mind if it was a little like tighter and loftier rather than more square and flat. But it still works great. And then the other thing about it is, if it's really cold and I'm wearing all my layers, it won't work. So, you know, hopefully I won't have too many nights like that if that happens, but that's just another downfall to this type of pillow. But I like it. I like that it's multi-purpose. I've tried some other pillows. I've just never been real happy with pillows, so I feel like this is a good system for me right now. I would maybe try, I can't remember what size I bought. I know these come in another size, in a couple of sizes, so if I got the bigger one, I might try the smaller one and see if that provides more of that loft that I'm looking for to hold my head up a little more. But other than that, I love it. So that is it. That is my big three: my Dandy backpack, my tarp tent, Rainbow Lee with the Tyvek ground cloth, then my Enigma, Enlightened Equipment Enigma and Revelation, and my Nemo switchback sleeping pad, and my Hyperlight pillow. So, yep, that is it, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.